BassResinator here. I have a new coaster mold set from Let's Resin, and Let's Resin asked me if I would promote this because they've got it on sale right now. And if you look in the link, you'll see the where you can get this on sale at Amazon. I'm going to be doing it's a round coasters. I think they're like 3.7 inches, 3.8 inches across, almost an inch deep. So they're hefty molds, hefty coasters when you're done. Comes in this really nice packaging. Has instructions in here, how to mix, and all of the essentials. If you are new to resin, then you'll definitely want to be reading that instruction booklet. And then get this plastic covering off so we can get to the molds. And I've got something special planned to show off the nice quality of molds these are, but also the size, how they can improve or give you a bunch of different possibilities. Okay, well, let me get this other plastic container out the way. Oh, what is that right there? I don't know what that is. Oh, I think it was a little piece out of this corner. Okay, let me throw this trash away and I'll be right back and show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I just want to show you how deep these are. It's about 0.8 inches thick. Oh, there's a little piece of glitter. Let me get that right. It's bothering me. Just a second. And that little piece of glitter right there was really bugging me. Don't want that to mess up my piece here. Okay, my wife is from the state of Michigan, and it's called the Great Lakes State, and there are the Great Lakes. You got Lake Michigan, you got Lake Superior, you've got Huron, Erie, and you've got these Great Lakes all around, and they are full of beautiful stones. Well, she was up there last summer on the Lake Michigan side, the western side of the lower peninsula of Michigan, and she picked up some stones for me. And she said, these are my favorite ones, the little tiny ones. Well, she got some this size, and then a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger. Now notice all of the different, that black one right there has got some super sparklies going on. And then, I didn't get the biggest ones because I didn't think they would fit in here very well. So I'm going to use just these. Plus, now these you're not going to be able to tell what they are, but those are Petoskey stones. It's a state stone of Michigan. It's a fossil. So I am going to, and I've got 4 of them. So I'm going to do 4 coasters with stones and 2 without, but not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the 2 without, because I don't know if I want to use deep pour on all of them, but the 4 where I'm using the stones, I'm definitely going to use deep pour. So I also have a little bit of sand, and I'm going to mix up and just put a little bit of the sand on the bottom and then put the stones and then the deep pour around it. I may go all 6 with the stones, but I don't have enough Petoskey stones. So be right back. I've got a special treat. Okay, I have a rock tumbler, and I just polished some gemstones. Now these you're not going to find in the lakes of Michigan, I don't think, but well, you might. There's amethyst. So on the two that don't have Petoskey stones, they're going to have some amethyst in there. Ha ha ha. Coolness, huh? Okay, so let me get this resin mixed up, and I'm going to build these now with these type of coasters. You don't have to fill them all the way up. If you want a thinner coaster, just go halfway or a third of the way. It's up to you. You're really only limited by your imagination. But if you want to go deeper, which I do in this one because I have these stones, I'm going to use the full depth. But if you want to go with a shallower type of coaster, then that's fine. A lot of coaster molds that are available to the public are very thin ones, like 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch, and that's it. And if you want to go deeper to put stones in or something, or flowers or something of that sort, you're out of luck. So this is a very handy dandy mold to have. And if you don't have one, remember, go down in the description and look it up. I'm going to mix up well, I'm going to have to figure out exactly how much I'm going to need for all of these. And then I'll come back shortly. I'm going to be using the Let's Resin Deep Pour. Okay, I've mixed up the resin. I'm going to go put it into the vacuum chamber in just a bit. But I wanted to let you see, I put some of it into the sand. I'm going to let that soak in. I'll mix it up a little bit. It'll hold its better in the bottom of the mold if I put it in like this. And then I already put in a little bit onto the small stones. Look how pretty. Turn that one over and look at that one. I mean, these stones, if you look at the stones in the Great Lakes on the edge of the shore, oh, so pretty. Okay, now the little bit larger ones. There's reds, there's greens, there's browns, there's whites. There's even one that looks like glass right here. It's not glass, it's just a crystal. And then even larger ones. You got agates. I mean, just beautiful stones. Now, I'm doing it this way so that you can see the fantastic change that's going to take place on these Petoskey stones. You don't see any pattern other than just gray, right? Watch. Do you see this one is getting a little like a pattern of like a what do they call those things? Barnacles. It sort of looks like barnacles were attached to the stone and they leave little patterns. A lot of times they'll turn darker like this littler one. Sometimes they are very pale, like this one here. This one here, look at it though. Just beautiful stones. So we've got the stones soaking so that they're not I mean, they're not soaking, but I mean they've got some of the resin on them so that they don't bubble up and stuff too much once I start putting the resin, once I start placing them into these coasters. But I'll be right back after I get this other resin debubbled in the vacuum chamber. Okay, no more bubbles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit in to each coaster. Let me get a mixing thing so it doesn't come from too far and produce too many bubbles. And then I'll go around the edge and see if there's any bubbles that need to be popped, because they like hanging out, bubbles like hanging out against the edge. That one needs a little bit more. There we go. I'll get my little tool. You know, I'm looking, I don't see any bubbles. That's awesome. They'll usually hang out right against the edge, and I don't see any. Yay! Okay, well, I'll keep that handy. Okay, so now we'll go in with a little bit of the sand. Now this will probably produce a few bubbles. Almost looks like really thick mustard, huh? Then I'll spread this out without scratching the mold. That's my goal. And so far so good. Now I'm seeing a whole bunch of little tiny bubbles coming up from the sand. It just produces bubbles. So you have to be cognizant of that. Now these are just little tiny micro bubbles, but just enough to ruin a project. So we have to really be careful that we get all of those. And the way we're going to do it is, after I spread this out a bit more, I'm going to spray a fine mist of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. 91% is what I have, and it'll pop those bubbles real fast. But I don't know if you can see it. It looks like foam. That's just those little bubbles. Now I'm building these coasters from the ground up. You can, if you're going to do like 3D blooms or something, you do them upside down. So that what you're seeing down there would be the top of the mold on a bloom, or some of the other techniques. But this one, that is actually going to be the bottom. I think I want to make it look like I got a little bit on the shore, instead of just right in the middle. Okay. Now the alcohol, I've got it in a spray bottle. I'll probably have to come back and do that again later on, but right now we're going to go with some of the stones. And up on the shore are the little ones. go. A little bit bigger ones further out. You can definitely tell when you've been walking in one of the Great Lakes. If you're a tenderfoot, you'll have bruises on the bottom of your feet. Looking to see this one over here. It looks like it has less. That's a really pretty stone right there. And all of these stones were scoured out of the ground by glaciers. That once moved across Michigan, Canada, and such. Okay, now to highlight. Okay, this one has a lot more stones, so I'll put the smaller Petoskey stone there. I'm going to use that for amethyst. That one's a beautiful example of Petoskey. Oops. A little piece of amethyst right there. And then, now, we come back with more resin. And it looks like they're under the water of the lake. Okay, those are all pretty much domed up, which means the edge right here is being held in the surface tension of the resin is such that it's not just going to spill over because it's thicker, and it'll make it so it'll have a smooth surface when I unmold them. And those stones, these coasters, if you fill them all up, take about 30 ounces. But because of the stones, I still have 4 ounces left over. So I had 4 ounces of stones. Okay, well, I will come back to you when it is time to unmold. Okay. Looking good. These are cured up. And I'm noticing some little bumps. I don't know if some dust got on there. I may have to do a top coat. Oh, look at that. That sand is perfect. A little piece of sand that was on the edge of the mold. There's the rocks. And a little Petoskey stone right in the middle. Very nice mold. And there, no Petoskey stone in this one. It's got that amethyst right there. But you can see this also has a little rounded edge, which is kind of cool. But you can see the thickness of the mold allows you to do all kinds of stuff. Petoskey stone right there. Petoskey stone right here. Wow. I am thinking I want to put a cork bottom on the bottom of these. That's the best Petoskey stone that I have in here. Here's a piece of amethyst right there. Actually, 2 pieces. 3 pieces. That one only had 1. And that Petoskey there. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, let me get the mold out of the way. Okay. Very, very nice. I am liking this. I know Let's Resin, when they designed this mold, and they've got a couple other ones that are a little bit bigger and they have different shapes that are thicker. And the reason the reason it's designed that way is for be able to use thick inclusions, plants, different things of that sort. So, yeah, cool. Well, if you're a subscriber of mine, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not, and you would like to be, it's very simple. Just click subscribe at the bottom of this video. Got some dust on here. The channel also has memberships. If you want to become a member, just click on the button that says join. And there's another little button down there with an icon of a bell. If you click that, then you'll be notified anytime I do something new. Well, let's resin. These are excellent molds, and please look in the description if you are interested in acquiring any of these molds. There'll be a link down there, and if you click on that link, you should get it on discount. So you should. Yeah, I like them. I like them. Now, I do a lot of drying of flowers and things of that sort. So putting flowers into resin pieces like this is also something I'd like to do. I will have some closing shots, and that will have the cork on the bottom. So I buy in bulk, and you can get them in square or round or hexagonal or octagonal, whatever shape you want, and then just peel off the little sticky and stick it on there, and away you go. That way it'll be mostly covered so you'll be able to see all the rocks instead of seeing it like that. Anyway, some people like clear, some people like the cork. I like the cork. So okay, thank you for being here. We'll see you for the next one. Bye.